Welcome, welcome. It is After Sunrise. Thanks for continuing the fun with us. You know, I'm actually starting to look forward to this. Just hanging out and chatting with you guys. Yeah. Kevin's looking at me like...
Well, so I actually almost like lost it.
I like you guys. You're fun.
I like sitting down, but when I went back, I didn't realize
there's a little thing right
here.
You
scared me.
I scared myself.
And then
what is it?
It's this little thing right here. You got to tighten it. It's like a screw. You tighten it up, and then you don't fall back. It's a comfortable swing back and forth.
I do like
that one. You almost see
I can make it into a rocking chair, kind of.
Yeah, you can. There you go. It's After Sunrise.
It's After Sunrise.
I think I made mine tighter. Okay.
Yeah.
This is actually really nice though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna like really relax and fall asleep with this. Let's talk about the big story of the day though. I think it's this weather that's coming our way. I mean, we've got a pretty significant storm.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I couldn't even show we have all types of model and data that come in, and I like to show the pretty graphics, but I just couldn't show the rain model graphics, whether it be the global forecast or the European today, because they're all over almost an inch and a half of rain for Bakersfield.
And you don't believe it?
I don't believe it.
Why? I mean, because these are computer forecast. I mean,
Well, people ask me that all the time, and after being here 20 years, it would take a really powerful storm to bring that kind of rain. And what it's doing is it's taking that data off the storm of the Pacific. And so I have to also calculate wind speeds and everything else. In terms of that rain coming over the mountain ranges of the coastal range, I always say, think of that sponge. It's going to wring out a lot of that moisture as it comes over the range into the valley, and then it has to make its way to Bakersfield. And so a lot of times it wrings out a lot of that moisture before it actually gets to us. So the models always over project. And so I had to look at other data. And so we could pick up a half an inch. We're still going to get
that's a good amount of rain.
Between Wednesday and Friday.
Thursday. Tonight and Friday.
Yeah,
Friday. So a half an inch, still a good amount. Half to 3/4, maybe a little bit more, but over an inch and a half is just pushing it. And then for our mountain communities, you're in our mountains, I'm looking at snow up your way as snow level is going to drop tonight into Thursday.
Here we snow again.
Here we go again. And,
what did you say earlier that you needed a
snowbrella?
No snowbrella.
Your snowbrella.
Snow way.
So we'll see if Maddie makes it in tomorrow, or she's going to be from her back porch.
Okay.
So.
Isn't it just hilarious how you didn't get any storms? No snow.
It was the same last year. Our biggest snowstorm last year was the week before Mother's Day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was late. That was the most snow that we got.
Yeah.
Well, and then we were, when I was up at my weather conference in February, they were talking about a Miracle March because the Sierras have had that Miracle March snow, and we're right in that position again.
Yeah.
Over 2 feet of snow expected with this storm from Tahoe to Mammoth.
Wow.
And so that's
really
great
good.
news.
That's huge.
Fantastic.
We will take that.
Yeah, those amounts up in Mammoth, wild.
Right. Yeah. I love showing the picture of the village like today. The sun's up right now. I could go bring up the village in a minute. It's just beautiful.
Oh, so
And then
pretty.
come tomorrow afternoon, it's just going to be piled up again.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And they just got a good storm. They got a good
Remember
amount
I showed
last
the fire
week.
pit, that last storm, and you couldn't even see the fire pit?
Yeah.
And that fire pit in Mammoth, because I've been to that fire pit many times, is about this high, and it just
covered. So because of the storm that we have and coming in and so forth, and you've been talking about how the Kern River Valley could pick up some snow even, which is always
probably a rain and snow mix.
Yeah.
But Alta Sierra.
Yes,
finally.
I mean, that is great
with
for them.
With the storm up there. That is great news for them.
Do you think they'd open at this point? It's
I
so
don't
late
know.
in the season.
There's so much that goes into. I'll have to call the owners later today and see if that's even a possibility. Even though I'm, looking at that snow, there's just so much that takes in
so much
to operate.
That,
you get your crews. Have they hired enough people thinking we may not pick up enough snow? So there's so many variables.
It's such a bummer because they haven't had any.
Yeah, I know.
In the open weekend.
And the winds, real quick. The winds. If you're watching on our social media, our website, the winds are going to pick up this afternoon. So just be ready for that, especially if you lived out near Taft, McKittrick. Strong winds out that way. But here in Bakersfield, we could see some of that blowing dust this afternoon as that front pushes in.
I think that is my least favorite type of weather. Is just the winds because I hate wind. I hate it. When that wind starts picking up and then gets the dust, it just
good air quality today, but still expecting maybe some dust.
So I was saying, once the brunt of this storm kind of passes and getting ready for the weekend, because I know we kind of get a little bit of a break on Saturday.
Saturday we'll start to see clearing.
Yeah, but not all day rain or
no.
So I was going to do it last weekend and I decided not to, but I really want to go up to Kern River, the Kern River Valley. go specifically to Kern River Brewery. I love going up there during this time of year and just kind of hanging out. I mean, the weather's nice up there. Even if it's chilly, it's still kind of like you still have those hints of spring, and it's just
the drive is so pretty.
The drive up there is so pretty
it's
right
nauseating.
now.
If you can stomach
it is a little windy.
Let me just say, I love the Kern River Valley. I showed Lake Isabella shot. Love that area.
That canyon though is rough.
But
is it better for you if you drive? Because some people get car sick
I get
as a
sick
passenger.
even if I drive.
You do.
It's
Really?
just so
Wow,
windy, and I think it's a combination of the curves, the nerves, because people fly through that
curves
canyon.
and the nerves.
The people fly through that canyon, and I do not fly, and I'm too nervous to pull over to those turnouts because the turnouts are so brief that I'm more afraid of getting in an accident, getting into a turnout, and then off the turnout than just watching my
you're
speed.
that person who's going so
that
slow and not
I'm not
using
going
a
like 10
turnout.
miles per hour. I'm going the speed
I've gotten
limit.
stuck behind you before.
Yeah, you folks that are used to that
I don't
canyon
fly.
going 60
I don't
through there.
fly. No, would never do
I'm
60
just
through
saying,
the canyon.
A lot of people go a little too fast for that canyon, but they're used to the
people
curves.
go
They're used to. A lot of those people are
So
used
anyway,
to it.
The turnouts
I
are there
love the
for a
Kern River
reason.
Valley. I
Yeah.
wish it wasn't as
Use 'em.
windy because I would love to drive up there more. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean it's a great place, and I'd love to go up there more. I only make it up there, a couple times a year, recreationally, but it is a great little gym up there. But
And if you're like me, you can go the back way. There is a back way.
there is a back way.
395.
Yeah, that's a long.
What are you talking about? Like going up through,
Through
over the
Tehachapi,
top?
through Tehachapi, like
Oh,
you're going to
that
Mammoth.
way?
Yeah, there's that Lake Isabella.
Oh, I mean, I know that way. That's a long drive.
It's a long drive, but it's could be scenic. I've never taken it.
Oh, you haven't? I
No.
mean, I've taken it.
Is it long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just see that when I go to Mammoth or Tahoe.
If you're going from Bakersfield, no, that you
I
would
just see
not
the
want to
sign
go
that says
way.
Lake Isabella. I've never taken that, but it's a back way.
So there was one.
very
This
long
was back when I
back way.
was reporting. This was several years ago. We had a storm. The 178 was closed, and the 155 was closed as well. And so
People have had to take that.
and so we were. But me and my photographer, we were up there covering something, probably the weather, obviously, and that's when they closed the roads. So the only way back
Was that way.
395?
So we had to go back, and oh my goodness, it was like, oh, this is so.
Probably 2 hours.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours. Yeah.
Yes, at least.
Okay.
I would at least.
And because
honestly.
of that, there was more traffic, and anyways. But
Yeah.
the reason why I bring this up though is because the weather is so it's nice for what I have in mind of just like going up to Kernville, hanging out there, and it's great because there's that cafe that's just really good. You've got Kern River Brewery that's good. You can kind of make a nice leisurely day up
I've
there.
heard great things about Kern River
Yeah.
Ceviche. I'm just going to
Oh,
say
that's
again.
right. You keep saying that.
That's a restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ceviche spot.
But with this weather, especially as we're getting ready for the weekend, and it really hitting tomorrow and through Friday, it might make people cancel their plans, right?
Oh, maybe.
What?
Oh, nothing. Nice segue.
Well, yeah, that's why I have the story here. This is because this is what kind of caught my eye. So I get it. Like, it's weather. You don't want to get out. It's just like, I'll just stay. I'll
It's
just
an
stay
excuse.
in.
People
See?
like to have an excuse to cancel plans, though.
That's the story.
Yeah.
People love canceling plans. Americans love it. In matter of fact, a new study.
Instead, he'd rather stay on his couch
phone
alone on his
and-
phone.
Depends
No,
on the
so a
day.
new study.
Or do this.
That's Maddie. Honestly,
Yeah, that's Maddie.
no, but so 36% of Americans surveyed say that they have no problem canceling plans last minute. Look, I'm
Depends on what
let me
it
say what the survey
All right.
kind of
Break it down.
broke it down.
Break it down.
Whoa. So so 36% of Americans surveyed say that they have no problem canceling plans last minute. This spiked post-pandemic.
Okay.
So the pandemic kind of changed this culture. They say it's more acceptable to cancel plans last minute. And but as you can imagine, there's a lot of pros to that, right? Like if you want to take some time for yourself, things can change or whatever. The cons, though, I think are obvious. A lot of people are finding out that their friends are flaky.
Uh-huh.
And
Let me just say, I've had people cancel on me, and I just stop inviting them.
And that's what can happen. But you know, another part of this is our social anxiety has increased as we've become more used to interacting with people on a phone or on a digital device. A lot of people's relationships and friendships have become much more digitally based. We don't talk on the phone, we text.
Because we're so dependent on the screen.
We're more nervous about face-to-face, person-to-person conversations and interactions, and it's increased as use of technology has increased. So one of the things that I've told my kids before is like sometimes you don't feel like going because you get that little spike in anxiety, but it's good for you to do it anyway. Yeah. Prove to yourself like it's okay. And then usually you're glad that you did. You're glad that you went. Now there are obviously certain things, you know, that are exceptions, and I think the key to this is not overcommitting to begin with. Like, so let's not overpack our schedules and make ourselves too busy.
And that's what people are finding. The survey, you know, was asking people. A lot of people, we're overcommitting more than we ever have, and we're canceling more than we ever have. You know, because it's, you know, it's kind of like you do get that overwhelmed, and it's like when you want to make a plan weeks out, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. And then when you get closer to it, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Look, I want to be very clear. I know that there's always the exception, right? If you're sick, if you're not feeling well, of course, that's family emergencies, things come up. Yeah. But I think for me, it is, I have a problem when there is a pattern of people saying, oh yeah, sure, we'll do that. And then say, well, I don't want to do this. And it's like, okay, but you keep doing this, and now I don't want to make plans with you because... You know, because then it ruins my plans, and
you know,
people overcommit.
You know, we like busy. We like to say we're busy. Yeah. Like it's like a badge of honor.
For me, when we had the pandemic and everything stopped, when everything started to come back to normal, I really reevaluated my life, because you're right. I was so busy with this event, that event, doing this. And when the pandemic happened and we couldn't do any of that, when it restarted, I reevaluated and really pulled back on a lot of things I did and changed my focus in the new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, one thing though that we're seeing as a result of the increased use of technology, social media, digital devices is fewer people can say they have a close friend than like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, especially when it comes to young adults. More and more people are finding that they have maybe a lot of friends on a device, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but they don't have that really close relationship. And that, I mean, statistically, it's a really big problem how much that has changed.
And that's even, you know, I think why a lot of people are, you're seeing this more and more in big cities, for example, right? You've got a lot of people. You run into a ton of people all the time. You have a lot of acquaintances. But when it, you know, like you said, when it comes down to it, it's hard to forge really close friendships, relationships.
Because relationships take work, you know, friendships, person to person, you're going to have disagreements, and so it takes work. And it's just so much easier now to be like, I don't really need you. I can just go to my phone. Like I got all these friends. I can socially interact there where it's safer, where I don't have to put myself out there. It's just so important though to put yourself out of that comfort zone, because nothing can replace an in-person, person-to-person, face-to-face.
And that's how we're wired.
For me, it's not an anxiety thing for me. I think there's times I have plans, like I'm gung-ho, I can't wait to do this, and then I get tired in the afternoon. I'm like, I just don't think I can go out.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like Alex said, there's exceptions to everything.
There's exceptions, but even with that, like there are a lot of people who that's the excuse.
Always.
That's always the excuse. You make plans to go out on a Friday night, we've got this plan, and then, you know, an hour or two before, you're like, I'm just too tired. And in some way, it's you have made a commitment with someone, and if you bow out every time,
right,
it's like you're negatively impacting that person. Again, every once in a while, I've been there where I'm like, you know what? I want to just like go home. I want to go straight to bed, binge watch some shows, treat myself to a dinner, and then call it quits.
20-minute nap, grab a little caffeine, and
well, the other thing too is there is that like, you know, when you physically leave the house, your brain does, you know, you do kind of naturally rally, right? Because every time I go home, it's like I'm automatic. I know my bed's right there. It's like the mindset.
You know what's hard for me is when we wake up so early, we leave the house in the dark. If I have to go home and get ready for an event that starts in the dark, like it's 7 p.m. because
Yeah.
normally that's our bedtime. It is so hard for my brain. So I prefer to leave the house while it's still light and just go out and do something. Like I need to go out and be out and about for the event that's going to start late.
Well, I couldn't be Maddie because she'll come to work, then she'll drive all the way home, and then she'll drive all the way back into town for an event sometimes. And I'm like,
I try to not do the double drive. I try to save the gas and
was
just
gonna say, 'cause
stay
that
here
costs
in
you.
town
Cost you, but that's
because of the cost.
exhausting.
I mean, that's why I just try and stay in
Yeah.
town. But it's still exhausting, just in general.
Yes.
But
Have
we're
you-
all tired.
Has there? Well, yeah. Well,
epidemic.
and that's the other thing. Have you ever? What's like the most you've gone back and forth in one day?
I mean,
Like 4 times.
down, back,
down,
down,
back.
back. I've done that. Like when I'm sick, like if I come to Sunrise, I'm like, I can't do the rest of this day, and I leave after, I'll go home so I can like lay down on my own couch,
Yeah.
and then I have to come back down to pick up my kids because they go to school down here. So
Well, so for those going into our next story, for those who don't like to cancel plans, and you you consider yourself a fun person,
you a fun guy?
am I a fun guy? Are you gonna make some like bacteria joke or something?
Sorry,
Oh,
just a mushroom
no,
joke.
I was gonna say, is it like a mushroom
Fun
joke
guy.
or something?
Oh, fun guy.
Yeah. She was the way you were looking at me. I was
I
like,
know,
I
I was
know
like,
you're
where are you
going through.
going
It's,
with
it's
this?
no. I knew it was going
That
to be
was
in the
the joke.
mushroom.
That was it. There was
and
no
there
more to
nothing.
it.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. But so yeah, I mean, I mean, I consider myself a fun person.
Don't we all?
I mean, I think we all do.
I think
right?
you got to leave that up to someone else's
But,
interpretation.
I mean, it's true. But there's a new study that shows that people who consider themselves fun people are
Okay.
more resilient.
If you are, that playfulness comes with another trait, resilience.
Yeah.
So that's if you are. You have to actually be fun to be
fun.
resilient.
But see, that's the thing too. Like, define fun. That's the other thing.
That's a great question. How do you define fun?
Because some people might think that fun is hanging out. I mean, there are some things that people do that they might think are fun, and I'm like, that's misery.
like a puzzle.
They're fun in some aspects, boring in others.
All right, so
That would probably illustrate me.
a new study recently found people who dedicate their life to being fun are able to make it through difficult times much easier. Researchers from Oregon State and Vanderbilt found that people who are more playful have something called color spotlight. What? It is the ability to create positive experiences for growth even during difficult times. Researchers called this lemonading. Lemonading and color spotlights. Who did this study?
I know the study itself is fun. You know,
The study's actually one of the first to analyze how playful people perceive and react to their environment.
but I think again it goes back to define fun. What is fun? And
I like to just add an element of fun to your day. Like what would be fun to it's a normal afternoon, but what would be nice? Like maybe a hot bath and some good music, or reading a book, or just sitting down and playing a game with my kids. Like that would add a nice, memorable element to an otherwise just like routine day.
Yeah. Or even here at 17, we've transitioned. We actually have a game room upstairs.
We do.
After sunrise, I should go up there at some
You know that
point.
all I've done in that game room?
What?
Napped.
You napped on the, yeah.
have you really?
I should.
Yes.
Have you taken a nap up
I
there?
should go up there with my phone and
We should do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
or something.
tomorrow.
That'd be fun.
We'll show you the game room.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Upstairs.
It's fun.
It's
Really
kind of a
comfy beanbag.
It's our relaxation room. There's a quiet like phone booth in there.
Well, I now know if I can't find Maddie, just
can
go
go
upstairs and
napping.
interrupt her
I
nap.
brought my book. I brought a little snack.
You know what though? Isn't it sad
That's nice.
that we think napping is fun?
Right?
Sleep is gorgeous.
No, it's
sleep
glorious. It is
sleep
glorious.
is beautiful. I love it. I went to bed the other night at 7 o'clock, and it was so beautiful. My children were downstairs
Wow,
just
7 o'clock.
throwing a ball at the wall. It was the day after the time change, and I'm
Hey,
fighting
if I
a
could get to bed by
cold.
7,
talk
I'd be
about-
there.
I mean, I'm not usually, but I had to ignore my children downstairs throwing balls against the walls.
Can we just the things that happen in your house? I'm just like, but can we talk about the time change? It has wrecked me.
It's so
I have
rough.
been.
I'm fine now.
No, I'm still. It has just been. I have like. I keep asking myself. I feel like I've just like been really tired this week.
It's
like extra
sucks.
tired this week, and then I keep reminding myself. Oh yeah, we lost an
It's
hour.
not fun.
Again, I think it's a lot of it's mental. Like, it's just an hour, but
It's rough. Hey, can we talk about the science fair?
Yeah, let's do that. That was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yesterday.
So cool.
So cool.
I know,
So
our very own Elena was there. She
Yeah.
did a big presentation.
Elena Rusk was the keynote speaker for the 37th annual Kern County Science Fair held downtown at the Dignity Health Convention Center. I think we have some video. We're going to see if we can find that for you. So this is the culmination of months of hard work for students. And it's really cool to go check out. I didn't go this year, but I went last year, and I love looking at all of the projects. So these students rose through their schools, they won there, then they went to their district science fair, won there, and now they get to showcase their work for the county science
Where did
fair.
my peeps go?
Was that one of the science fair
one of
projects?
those, yeah.
Justin said there was one called Barbecue Stain on Your White T-Shirt.
How to get it
You know
off.
that country song?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a song. Anyway,
Oh.
it's barbecue stain on my wet T-shirt. She was killing me in that mini skirt. Anywho, so there is
I love
an
how
old
as you were
country
singing,
song.
I love how as you were singing, we saw the pitch of sound.
Not pleasant. But anyway, so they were judged, and then the winners are going to move on to the California Science Fair next month, and a very select few will then move to the International Science and Engineering Fair in May. We spoke to the coordinator about the importance of the fair.
But I think it really just empowers our students to be prepared to work in the Kern County industry. We have so many different STEM industries around Kern County. We're actually the 4th largest STEM industry in the nation.
And like we mentioned, Elena Rusk was there. And well, look at that.
And a really cool robot dog.
Yeah, Elena was there giving
Look
a
at the auditorium.
presentation.
It was a packed house.
Yeah,
And she did a whole weather presentation, stuff like that.
yeah.
So-
Take a look.
Let us know how cold the temperatures are as it rises. Let us know how much pressure there is, if there's any moisture.
There she is. It's so funny. Like when you start talking to her
She's
about
such
meteorology,
such a science nerd.
she is. She just goes and she loves it.
Yeah, so she spoke to 600 students yesterday. All right, I have the winners.
Oh, okay. So let's.
We have all the winners. We haven't announced these yet. All right, so 4th grade, first place for chemistry. I'm just going to read the first place because there's a lot of categories. First place, chemistry, Brennan Hughes from Miller Elementary School. I wish I had the name of her project
I was
here.
going to say, does it not say the project?
It doesn't. Electronics and electromagnetics. This is 4th grade, by the way,
Oh,
you guys.
my.
First place, Howard Hyatt from Rio Bravo Greeley. And then mammalian biology. First place, Charlie Tripp from Highland. Oh my goodness, this is insane. Material science. First place, Cambria Fouts from Heartland Charter School. Physics and astronomy. First place, Penelope Trigo, Nueva Vista Language Academy. Plant biology. First place, Charlotte Severson Centennial Elementary. Product science, first place, Noah Miranda, Del Vista Math and Science Academy. So that would be where the barbecue stain one,
There you
I'm sure
go.
would go. Probably that product science. 5th grade, aerodynamics and hydrodynamics. First place was Sebastian Ramirez at Nueva Vista.
Wow.
Alternative energy, first place, Nicholas Calasides at Buena Vista Elementary. Animal Sciences, Avery Minor, St. Francis Parish. Applied Mechanics and Structures, Alex Angel with
so many
Carl
categories.
F.
I know.
Clemens Elementary. I know. Chemistry was Casalina Chow at Leo B. Hart. And then Earth and Environmental Science. Ooh. Avian?
You get stumped. on the name.
Avian Jane. Ooh, I'm probably butchering that. Ronald Reagan Elementary. Electronics, electromagnetics, first place, Steven Cerna, Del Vista Math and Science Academy. And let's see, material science, first place, Parker Hay, St. Francis. Physics and astronomy, Eli Inoza from Paula Elementary. Plant biology, Nathan Ramos Leal Owens. And product science, Grace Dale, St. Francis. And then we've got the 6th through the 8th grade science
goodness.
fair results. And
We'll post that.
there
on
are a
our
lot.
Yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
post these because then we also have 9th through 12th grade results here as well. I was
We'll be
looking
here all
to see
day.
if there was a top winner.
But it's so great
No,
to see
so they each
all
get
of
these.
you taking part in
I
the science fair.
know.
and-
Oh,
and
first place for plant biology,
a lot
9th
of
through
smart
12th was
kids in our
Madeline
area.
Evans. I just read it because I liked her name.
A lot of smart kids in Kern County.
Smart kids.
Do
And
you
it's so
remember-
fun to kind of come up with these science fair projects
Do you
with your
remember
kids.
what your projects were as a kid?
I do. Yeah.
I think I remember one. What was yours?
I remember one we did, does the color of light affect how a plant grows? So I put cellophane over like the light for the plants. I remember that. What about you?
I think I did something with, I can't even remember. I thought I did, but I actually, now that I think about it,
Do you remember, Kev?
We didn't have a science fair.
You didn't ever do a science
No.
fair?
And if I did, that would have been so long ago that I really don't remember those like years.
I want to say I did something with like,
but we didn't have like something like that.
I think I did something with like gas rising, like different gases rising or something like that.
It's a fun thing to do. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I will
it's a
say
lot,
that
yeah.
it's a family kind of dedication because they've got to get the huge boards ready. You know,
yeah.
it's daily data gathering sometimes for some of these projects. So it's a lot of work, but congratulations to all of the winners. Everyone who competed, congratulations to you because like I said, it's a lot of work, and no matter, you know, the results, hopefully you learned something.
Yeah.
And had fun. I think that's also cool. Having fun with science, noticing and wondering about the world around us.
I think that's what's kind of neat is I mean, if you remember, I remember how the board is structured, right? Like you have to create your hypothesis, you have the results and everything. And I think even just going through that process, you know, helping with the wondering and asking a question and then trying to find answers. I think that process alone is just so important to teach, right? About if you have a question, you can find the answer. And sometimes it's gonna, you know, the hypothesis is going to come true or not. But
And just letting your mind wonder and wander,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And let me talk about being bored and how important that is for your brain. And that's how you come up with these kinds of questions. Just kind of sitting there, looking at the clouds or looking at the sky or something like that.
Yeah, looking back, it would have been nice if, you know, in my hometown they had like a science fair, you know. But, you know, back in the day we did like metal shop, you know, competitions and wood shop competitions and home ec competitions, you know.
There's a lot of that still. I was part of a discussion with the KCSOS about some of their technology and their different programs like that. You know, we've got the C-Tech where they teach things like auto shop, auto body shop, and high school students have the chance to take those kinds of classes now and welding and get these skills before they even leave high school, which is super cool.
Which is very cool because so many kids, when you talk to kids in schools and they, oh, you know, what are you going to do when you graduate? I don't know. I can't afford a four-year college. And I always stress to them, I'm like, so many kids get stuck on four-year colleges. There's so many other avenues that they can take, from culinary to, like you said, trade schools to.
I
You can make
always tell
incredible
people-
living.
We need all
I
of
doing
that.
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I always tell people I think there's two things that are very important. One, you need to strive to be as well-rounded as possible.
Most
I think that's
definitely.
very, very important. And number two, you got to do what you love.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
You're miserable.
You're miserable, you know? And so it's, you know, it's the same thing. It's like you don't have to always, I mean, there's different, like you said, it's the 4-year school that's too broad, right? Like,
Oh, it's so broad.
it is.
Oh,
It's
I
not for
agree.
everybody.
It's
you know,
not.
It's not, and it's always important, of course, to be well-rounded as much as possible. And in a lot of universities, a lot of schools do help that. But again, it's you know, it's just important to let your mind wander.
And I think we just, so many students, and I feel like I didn't know what all was out there, like what was possible. And I think we need to do a better job, and I think we are in some cases doing a better job in certain cases of letting our kids know all the different opportunities and options and careers and different pathways in education.
Because when I would talk to the kids in the class, I would bring that up, and a lot of them had no
Like,
clue.
what? I know.
that there was trade schools, culinary schools, all this kind of stuff. They, in their minds, it's just four-year school.
Well, hey,
We drive that home so
drive it
hard,
home
but
so
there's
hard.
yeah. Well,
so
hey,
many other
anyone
options.
out there who wants to take a look at the studio, if there's any kids out there, we do tours all the time. You know, I mean, a lot of people are like, we can take a tour of the news station. Yeah, we love when people come and
yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, a lot of the
because we
classes come
we want kids, we want people to see what we do here. Because
and when you
it's
graduate, we'll hire you.
exactly.
And that has happened.
We'll take you right into our news director's office and you can have an interview. No, but yeah, seriously, let us know if you ever want to come by. And I know a lot of people, all the kids, they want to see how you do the weather forecast.
Yeah.
That's that's always a big highlight.
Again, yeah, just make the call. Don't just, show
Don't just show up.
Say, I
just
want a
schedule
tour.
something.
Yeah, but you can call 283-1700 and
There you
that's the
go.
front lobby. And you can say, hey, I'm looking at maybe bringing my class or my Boy Scout troop, Girl Scout troop, or something like that. That happens a lot.
All right, well, get ready for the weather. Kevin's going to be tracking that for us. You'll have the latest on that on 17 News at noon. Thanks for joining us for After Sunrise.
And have a great day.